What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Muddy Roots Podcast. We are your hosts. We got Gage and Rob. We got Ryan and Bill. We're ready to roll. So, today, we're going to kind of start off by talking a little bit about morning routines, what you guys have. Do you guys do a morning routine? Do you not?
I don't.
What do you think?
I do.
Okay.
Every morning I just wake up, shower.
You want to take a cup?
Oh,
I'm gonna take a
Let's
cup.
take a
Let's
cup.
do it.
But
I
you
just
said
wake up, shower, go to
That's a
work.
routine.
that's a routine right there.
But I guess the showering depends. If I shower the night before,
Oh,
then
you
I
don't
won't shower
shower
in the
in the
morning.
Oh.
Do you do the scratch and sniff test?
People do that. That's a real thing.
No.
Oh.
I hope not.
Thank
I hope
God.
you just, if you
Yeah,
need
no,
to do the scratch and sniff, you just shower.
Why would you
Not a
start?
thing.
Huh?
Oh, you scratch, sniff your hand. You
Scratch
sniff
your
that. Damn.
Yeah, you wrap it.
Okay, really?
We need to get a penalty cup in this one because you need to take some penalty cups.
I grabbed from the bottom.
Huh?
I grabbed from the
Not
bottom.
what was the action you were just
I just
doing?
went like this.
He grabbed from the bottom there, too.
for both.
I don't know, man.
I didn't even scratch it though. I just went like this.
So no, what your morning routine is more just like hygiene based, like you just hopefully
Yeah, I
brush
just-
your teeth every day.
Yeah, that for sure. Though.
You didn't mention that.
I didn't mention it. No, yeah, that's all it like turns out to be. It's just
Do you have
get
a
ready
routine?
for the day.
Okay, I'll get a little more detailed.
Okay, because I'm gonna get detailed with mine
So
too.
it's super bad, but I look at my phone automatically, and usually
While
it's
laying in bed.
yeah. And I've heard you shouldn't do that. It starts your morning off rough, but I'm turning off my alarm, and so I have my phone in my hand, and then I'm looking at my schedule for my calendar for work, trying to see what my day's like, make sure that I don't have anything that I'm going to miss. After that, I'll hop in the shower. I hate listening to music in the morning. I don't
What?
like it.
I love
I don't
that.
like it. I don't like driving and listening to music, and if it is, it's an instrumental. So I listen to this this guy who produces just like real soulful and jazz music to like get me ready and pumped. Like my wife will leave work for work, and she'll be listening to like Meg Thee Stallion and stuff, and I'm listening to her back out of the driveway, and I'm like, it's 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I see that. I
I'm
do
like,
see that.
"Ugh."
But you listen to no music. Like you're. Oh no, yeah, you don't even go anywhere. You just you work from home, right?
I do, yeah. So when I'm
Oh,
from my
okay.
bathroom to my office, I'm just listening to my phone. Now, if I'm leaving, because I'll go into the office sometimes. So if I'm leaving, I won't listen to any music, or I'll listen to like an instrumental to kind of warm me up or something. I don't like listening to rap in the morning. It's really not my flavor.
So if you don't listen to instrumental at all, it's just a quiet drive. If you're going to the office,
Wow, I can't do that.
I can't do that. At
My
all.
brain
That is so weird to me
is
too.
not wired that way.
Because my dad's that way. He used to
Really?
like punish us growing up because we'd all want music. He'd be like, "No, it's a silent car," and he would just turn it off, and we're all like, "Bro,
What kind of punishment is
That's how you know something's gonna happen.
yeah, I don't know." It was weird. He's like that though. Like my dad likes silence. He won't listen to nothing.
That's what not just in the mornings, like all day long. It's just he doesn't listen to anything.
Yeah,
That's weird. In the morning, it's like
you got that, Dad? You're weird.
love Muddy Roots, not just Gage. Everyone thinks that.
I relate to that. Like it, especially in the mornings. Like I'll listen to reggae, like Fiji.
That's
J-Boog,
understandable.
Spawn Breezy. I'll listen to that, but like rap has to wait until like 1 to 2.
Damn, it's got a time limit.
If you play
No,
before
rap
1
before
o'clock,
12.
I fucking hate you.
What's your routine?
No, but my routine is like as soon as I wake up, first thing I do is I'll hit my vape.
Damn,
That's the first thing I do.
wow.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I'll hit my vape the first thing I wake up, and then I'll shower, brush my teeth in the shower, get out, get ready, and then head out. And when I head out, I listen to music on the way there. But no, but
At that point,
I
it's
feel
like-
like if I don't do any of those, my whole day's messed up.
Really?
Because ever since like if I mess up one thing, like say I don't hit my vape, I'll just go straight to showering. There's something wrong with that day. But if I
Wow.
do everything from my morning routine until I get to work, everything's fine. The whole day's fine.
You don't like breathing fresh air in the morning?
He has a sleep app machine. He just hooks his vape up to the sleep app machine.
If I could, I would.
Oh, you have problems.
Lungs are.
You guys make your bed?
One,
No,
No.
You don't look like
No,
a
I
bed
don't.
maker.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
You make your bed?
yeah. I would say sometimes not right when I get up, but I make my bed every day. At least me or my wife.
Do you?
I didn't ask if your wife. Do you make the bed?
Yeah. If my wife leaves the house before I do, like if
That's
she
fine,
gets up
yeah.
before I do, yeah.
Right. Because I'm the same way. I don't make it all the time. I'm actually really bad at it. And then I'll look at the time and Cece's about to come home and I'm like, oh my,
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me. So I'll go make it. But what's your routine? What do you got going on?
One real quick, brushing your teeth in the shower. Is that weird to you guys?
No, I do
No.
that.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that that's weird.
If
I brush
I've
my
heard it
teeth,
too.
say
if
it's
I brush
weird?
my teeth in the
No,
vanity,
so I do it.
it feels weird
Wait, you always brush it in the shower?
in the shower.
Yeah, I
Oh,
always
I
do it in the
don't.
shower.
In the morning, yes.
I never.
At nighttime, it's usually at my sink.
I never brush in the shower. I used to growing up. It doesn't gross me out. One thing that does gross me out though is leaving your toothbrush in the shower.
I still leave it in the shower.
Yeah, me too.
Hell no.
I don't
I have
care
a
about
whole
that.
slot for
Yeah.
the toothpaste and the toothbrush.
That is gross to me. There's so much steam and humidity coming off of like other people's sweaty asses.
Who is using my shower without me knowing? That's
Well,
the first
even,
question.
Even yourself, like
It's
when
Kiwi.
you go into the shower, you're dirty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
all
hope
the
so.
steam coming off of your body is going around your toothbrush.
Okay, but if you think about it,
I'm thinking about it.
if you leave your toothbrush in the outside of the shower and people are using the bathroom, that's just still the same thing, right?
Actually, that's a good point. That's a really good point. But it's not steam. I'm just saying.
Steam stink.
No, that's actually a good point. I don't know. Leaving it in the shower is gross me out. I don't mind brushing my teeth in the shower, but
Just leaving it in the shower.
Yeah, leaving it in the shower is weird.
Really?
Yeah, hella weird to me. Like actually, so because when you get in there, it's already moist. Like you don't even have to run it out of the water. It's already
No,
ready
I
to
still
roll.
run that shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
what are
you
you
still run
talking
it in.
about? My shower is dry.
Okay, but humidity in the shower is gonna make it so it's a little wet. That's what I do not like.
Okay, I guess I see what you're saying, but there's times after, because I know that I'll shower in the morning. So after I brush my teeth at night, I'll go put it in the shower. Save me a step. Like, I don't think it's weird. Yeah.
You'll prep for the next day.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm so productive.
Look at me be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I really will.
Oh, yeah.
But what's your routine like
Yeah,
in the morning?
So mine's very similar to your guys'. I mean, shower, brush my teeth.
at the sink.
One, yeah, first
Make that clear. Is that right?
at
Not
the
in
sink because I'm
shower.
not a weirdo. But one thing actually that's maybe a little bit uncommon is I don't wear deodorant.
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
There is a gene.
because
Like,
I
if
don't.
you-
I'm not like a stinky person like that.
Some people have that
Steve
gene.
Jobs didn't think
Oh,
that,
okay.
and everyone else did. Like, do you not wear at all?
No, never.
That's
Like
so
your whole
crazy.
day,
Never.
you
No, I'll even go to the gym. Won't wear it.
and then you come home, shower, no deodorant.
No deodorant. But if you guys ever, and like you can be honest, have you ever been by me like, he's
Well,
stinky,
you
bro."
know what's crazy is that I didn't know that. I haven't thought of that, and
Nah.
I just don't like it, dude. Put deodorant on. That's weird.
Be like all of us.
Well, that's another. I don't wear deodorant. I don't wear cologne. Like I don't wear like smell good stuff. I just don't. So I don't do that. I do brush my teeth, shower,
Thank goodness.
make the bed. But sometimes make the bed is like how you were saying. Sometimes I know my wife's on the way home because I work a lot from home as well, and it's like, oh shoot, she's about to be here real quick. So I throw it together real fast. Again, I work from home and I kind of have my own schedule, so I clean a lot first thing in the morning. I do a lot of that. This week, I started trying to do push-ups every morning. I'm doing 100. Yeah, that's the correct terminology? Because dude, it's been kicking my butt low key.
I bet.
But yeah,
Look at your arms.
but other than that, I do. Like I'm LDS, so I pray and then I also read my scriptures.
Ooh.
I try to get that done in the morning, but sometimes if I don't know, something comes up and I'm running late, then I'll do it later in the day. But
How much do you try to read?
I do 2 chapters a day. So I'm in the Book of Mormon right now. I'm going to read through the Book of Mormon and then I'm going to start the Old Testament. So, because if you do 2 a day, I started is like one of my New Year's resolutions. So
That's awesome.
started at January. The Book of Mormon's 180 chapters or something. It's something right around there. So if you do 2 a day, you finish it by the end of April, like on the last day of April.
I should have been more specific. Like how much do you read in the morning? Part of your routine.
Like the scriptures or whatever, or just those 2 chapters. I really don't. I don't know. It depends. Some days I'll read for a lot longer because I also read other books as well. So sometimes I'll be reading for an hour if I don't have a whole lot in that morning, like if it's not jam packed.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's literally like those 2 chapters only take 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Oh, so you do read a lot, especially
Yeah.
in the mornings.
Yeah.
Because in our spelling test, you had Siri reading all of the words. So what happened there,
I'm
buddy?
gonna rewind. I listen to it. I do audio books and
Where you were going
audio.
with this?
No.
Oh.
No, it's okay. I don't really care. You can just
But
call me out on that.
with you praying and reading your scriptures, so it's safe to say like you believe in a God or a higher power.
Yeah.
Is that the same with you two?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
What about
Is it
you?
weird? I kind of question it sometimes.
Really? What makes you question it?
Is nobody knows. Nobody knows if there is something or if like someone's putting you in line to believe with everyone else that something is up there. You know,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think
it's such
that's
a weird
weird
thing.
because I have my doubts. I have my my questions. Sometimes I don't feel it's appropriate to ask.
it's also scary to fucking not believe and then
That's
you
what
know?
gets me is the fear of if there is nothing, like what happens when you die.
dude, that sometimes like freaks me out.
Yeah.
Is like it could just be pitch black and
That'd be crazy.
we're just done.
Everybody just
Yeah.
makes it seem like it's just this like big old thing and it's just black.
Yeah, because
Just done. You're done.
in all reality, nobody knows.
No, yeah.
So-
Religion is like some people try to say it's factual. I don't know much factual evidence.
Wasn't there a
towards any
movie that
religion.
came out? I want to say it came out like 2016 or something. This little girl dies, and then she comes back to life, and like she was telling the whole family, like how they met his great grandma and all that stuff. Have you guys heard about that?
I've heard of
wait,
people
I
that
think
do
I know
that.
what you're talking about.
Some people
Yeah.
will die and come back, and they have stories that are like,
And
there is someone.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in that moment, she was
Reincarnation
only
is-
gone for like 5 minutes, and she was just saying that she was doing this whole thing, like this long period of time.
It is.
That's what questions me.
Because yeah, that's what I don't get from like people who don't believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like, so what do you look forward to after death, or do you just live this life and you just know after this, it's black?
Dude, that scares
Because that
me.
scares the crap out of me. There's no
Same.
hope in that. You're just like living for the next day when you don't know what's next after
Mm-hmm.
this life. That scares me. 100%. Are you guys? Do you claim any religions?
LDS.
LDS
We grew up as Christians.
Christians.
Christian.
What's the difference? So obviously LDS is kind of a Christian faith. I know there's some differences. Have you ever thought about the LDS church as being weird, or like what aspects of it you think is weird?
No,
No.
not really. I mean, we all believe in one thing. There's a higher power up there.
Yeah.
For Christians, we believe that Jesus Christ is up there.
So you don't believe in like a heavenly Father and a Jesus Christ, just a Jesus Christ.
Just Jesus Christ.
I don't know the differences between the Christian and the Mormon thing, but I've heard they're a lot alike. So
I've heard there are a lot alike too.
And
I've
I've-
never been to a Christian.
I do know. I don't know if it is for Christians, but Mormons are kind of culty.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can't really speak into this. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I don't want to like slander my church because I actually believe it's 100% true. But I've heard that going into the temple is a little weird for your first time because you do certain things and wear certain things, and so people kind of get that vibe. I've known some influencers who have actually spoken about it. They've been in the temple and then spoken about it.
You're not supposed to do that.
No, You're not.
It's a
You're not
sacred
supposed to
thing.
talk about your experience.
No, the
at
temple
all.
is very
It's sacred.
That's why I don't
if
even
you're
wanna say
holy
it.
and you're worthy, you can go to the temple and experience it. But you should not be telling that to other people. They have what's called a guide. And so if you get married or sealed or something, you can have someone that comes through and kind of walks you through the process and stuff. But you should not be talking about that, at least.
What happens if you do?
Nothing.
Death.
They don't
You don't get
come
struck
hunt you
down.
Blackout. They don't take your name down and execute you, but it's just one
No,
of
like
those.
are you not allowed to go
Come
back
back?
in there?
No, I don't think you get excommunicated from the church or anything. If you talk about the temple, you're just not supposed to. But I do want to dive into that cult thing a little bit further. And to do that, I think we should take a cup real quick.
We
Let's
can
do it.
do
Let's
it.
do it.
Are you? Do you think it's culty as well?
No, I do not think it's a cult. I've obviously been there my whole life, though. So that's kind of weird to be like,
You're, like,
no, it's not a
biased,
cult.
kind of.
But and I've been there my whole life. I really just don't believe it is because there's a lot of things that the church. You want one or two?
Dosey dose.
The church does that I could see like maybe being a little bit of a cult, but at the end of the day, they let you come and go freely. It's not like, hey, there's ultimate secrets that you can't tell anybody. Like, no, it's all pretty open other than the temple stuff because it's very sacred to us. Another thing I've heard a lot of people, there's been some weird things. Like I've heard guys say like, oh, the bishop sleeps with all the young women. And I'm like,
What?
Yeah, no,
I feel
those
like
are
that's like
such
a
big,
universal,
hate
like
those
every.
or the multiple
religion.
wives thing. That's such a big, outsiders, especially people who aren't from Utah, because we live in Utah, so that's a Mormon. If you're not, you know one. But like touching on what Bill was saying, a lot of it, dude, because I grew up LDS, you grew up LDS, so it's not too crazy. But then you guys might hear about some things and you're like, oh, that's a little weird.
Right.
It's not too crazy, and like you said, it is a sacred thing. A lot of the things are sacred, so it may look like there's secrets that are being kept, and there's some things that aren't being let out to the public. But I mean, I've had like foreign exchange students that come to school with us, and they think doing the Pledge of Allegiance in the middle of class is weird.
I guess.
Like you're pledging
yeah.
I see
allegiance
that.
to your nation, like they think that's weird. You know what I mean? Like there's things that, I'm sure there's things that other races see us doing as Polynesians and think that it's weird. It's just kind of custom.
What do you guys do for baptism of the dead? Because that sounds so sketchy.
So baptism for the dead is you go and get baptized for somebody that's already been, like someone that's already
Passed.
passed.
So it's like someone that was a Christian. You guys are baptizing him.
So I don't know if you know much about that. The way I've interpreted it is family members will bring names of their own family and say, hey, my grandpa wasn't baptized. I want to get baptized for him. Sometimes when you go with your ward, they give you a bunch of random names. I don't know what the process is of getting those names.
I'm not
Like,
familiar
chosen.
with the process. No.
I don't know if it's like prayed about and pondered about and like because we believe that when you pass, you go to the other side and you either go to spirit prison or spirit paradise. Spirit paradise is where you've lived the life that you were supposed to be living. Spirit prison is where you weren't, but it's not. I don't really like the word prison because it's not a prison. Like you're just there to be taught. And when you're in spirit prison, you can be taught the things, and if you choose not to, then that's fine. But if you choose to, then that's where the baptisms for the dead, endowments for the dead, stuff like that come into play.
Yeah.
It's not really a prison. It's not like you're locked up. It's more of a school. And I believe that a lot of people in spirit paradise actually have the opportunity to go to spirit prison and try to teach some of those people.
Believe, because I've done baptism for the dead, and you get, I don't know who I am getting baptized for. There's a list. You'll do multiple of them. Like you'll just rotate, I think you do one.
No, you'll do like 10.
Okay.
Because you'll
really?
stand in the water like a baptism.
Oh, you're right. You don't
You'll
get
go
out
under.
of the,
Come up.
and then they say it again, and you go under. But you're
Yeah.
giving,
You're getting drowned.
you're giving
just
them the
kidding.
option to accept, and like you said, they're learning, and they're down there, and they're trying to go to spiritual paradise, and so you're giving them the option, and so you're getting baptized in honor of them, basically.
Okay.
So you can't
That's
even
correct.
choose. Like they give you a list, right, of the people that you
You can
needs to be
take your own
baptized?
names if you want. Like, so my grandma, she's way into that stuff. And so she did genealogy for our family. So she would bring some of our own names. But if you just go and show up, they'll have names for you. But no, that's actually correct. So you're doing it for the Christian. But if in spirit prison they choose not to accept it, they don't have to accept it.
Okay.
We're just
Yeah.
doing it to give them the option to
It's
accept.
not like we're baptizing and getting our numbers up. you know?
Yeah, I know.
Like everyone, no matter what. But
Are you guys? You're not very strong in the Christian faith, or like you just don't go to church a whole lot, or where are you guys at with it?
I just don't go to church a whole lot to like be strong. I don't know.
So what? Like, because Christians, their afterlife, what do you guys believe in? Is it like heaven and hell, and that's it, or what do you guys think?
You're-
That's what I believe.
I don't.
That's what I believe. I believe there's a heaven and hell. As far as like the whole baptism for the dead thing,
Yeah.
like I'm new to this, and which is like I want to keep an open mind to everything.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to learn, and I think I'm at the point where I'm just trying to experience everything instead of being like locked down to like one religion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why this whole thing is pretty cool though.
So wait,
Baptism for
were
the
you
dead.
guys baptized then?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I
we
was-
were.
Oh, we were.
Mm-hmm.
But
We get baptized
Christians-
when we're younger.
Yeah, like
Like
1 years
babies.
old.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
So another thing too that might be a little different. If Christians believe in heaven and hell, we believe in 3 kingdoms.
Yeah, I don't think we do. I also don't really know that much about
Right.
Christianity because it's been so long.
So
But-
we believe in 3 kingdoms. Not many people go to hell, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. The only people, and we call hell like outer darkness. The only people who go
Wow.
to outer darkness is people who see God and deny Him. So if you see
Oh,
God and
wow.
then you say, no, He doesn't, and then you like tell people, no, He doesn't exist. And if you read in the scriptures, there's guys who have done that, like prophets, or not prophets, but some guys who have done it, and then they get struck dumb or stuff like that.
Jeez.
Other than that, there's 3 levels, and depending on how you live your life and how you do in spirit prison and spirit paradise, will rank you in those 3 kingdoms.
Really?
Is that?
Yeah.
But then you guys can also get sealed with your family, right?
Correct.
So is that like, say, like you are at the very top, someone you love is in the middle. Can you guys just not see each other ever again? Like,
No, that's so the way I understand it. And sorry, I feel like I'm speaking a lot. If you have something to say, you can say it. But I know you can visit down.
That's right.
I've heard you can't visit up.
That's right.
So another thing though too is the way my mom explained it is you're gonna want to be with the ones you love the most, and so as a family you'll probably try to stick together. She also said, and I don't know if this is doctrine, she just was telling me you can kind of choose where you want to go, but you're gonna want to go where you're most comfortable. For example, if everyone in the so we believe in the celestial, turlet.
That's the 3 kingdoms.
And it's sea turtle.
Sea turtle.
So yeah. So
Oh,
celestial,
kinda
terrestrial,
tight.
telestial. So we believe, or so she was saying that if you want to go to the celestial, but you get there and it's awkward because you just know you didn't live the same life, like you didn't have some of those same core values, you'll want to go down. I don't know if that's doctrine or if that's just the way I was taught.
Do you know if once you go down, you can't go back up?
No,
Or how
you
does that
just-
work?
It's like a visitation thing.
Okay. But that's the 3 kingdoms right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sea turtle.
Yeah.
Yep. Sea turtle.
so what's at the top?
Celestial.
I know, but like, what's the difference? Like, why are those guys standing out more than the guys at the bottom? Like,
That's a tough one for me.
So I guess to answer your question, yeah, don't know because what's at the top, not sure. But the people that are at the top are considered to live a righteous and holy life. That, you said it. It's kind of like a ranking system. So they've lived, they've taught, they've served, and they earned their way to the highest kingdom.
I do know that people in the celestial kingdom will have opportunities themselves to be like gods, like to
damn.
like create earths and
And yeah, and to touch on that, there's certain requirements that you have to do. So you have to get married, man and woman. You need to get married. You have to have kids. Like there's certain things that you need to do in order to be like to get into the celestial kingdom.
Yeah.
If you, and we're all learning here, we're all just talking.
Right.
So if this is wrong, let me know. But if you don't get married, you don't fill one of those requirements. Even though I may have taught and I've served and I've attended church and I lived a really righteous life, but I didn't get married to a woman and reproduce, then I can only go to the terrestrial.
Yeah. I actually think you're 100%.
Yeah,
I remember learning that when I was a kid.
right.
It's one of the requirements just to get married.
Wow.
Because we believe that there's also a heavenly mother. Heavenly Father is not the only guy. We believe that there's a heavenly mother, but she's left out of a lot of stuff because, like, not using the Lord's name in vain. So, like, saying, oh, my God, like, don't do that. The reason that they left the heavenly mother's name out of everything is because he didn't want her to be disrespected like that.
So no one knows
So
her name.
No one knows her name. I don't know, actually. I couldn't
tell you.
I've heard some not conspiracies. I've heard some people say that from this scripture and this scripture, I think her name is this, but we don't really know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
So yeah, we do believe in a heavenly mother, and that is one of the requirements, just to get married. On that whole sealed thing, that one's a little confusing to me, and the ranking system's a little vague to me because and this is where me and the church kind of collide. I have a good testimony of Jesus Christ and my Lord and all that. I don't have a great testimony of the church. I'm working on it because I struggle with stuff like the word of wisdom. You guys already know this. Like I drink. I recently quit because of church, but because of personal reasons. But I don't think that makes you a bad person. And a lot of the church is like saying, no, don't do that. They're not necessarily saying if you do it, you're a bad person. They're just saying don't do it. And those things kind of rub me the wrong way a little bit. Like, just doesn't make sense to me why you can drink and be a bad person, but then someone else who's like, because part of the word of wisdom is like overeating too, like overindulging and like becoming fat. That's not good. So, but
That's a sin, though. That's not just LDS. That's also a sin. It's
Gluttony?
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Gluttony?
something like that. I don't know if it's gluttony, but it's something like that.
7 deadly sins. That's the only reason.
Right, but yeah, being overweight, being fat is
Oh, I
a
did
sin,
not know
and I
that.
think that's a Catholic thing.
But what's funny about that is you'll go to an LDS church. There's going to be fat people there, like that. Every religion there is. But then that guy, some people are like, oh no, but he's better because he's in church and not drinking. And this other guy who's physically active, but he drinks alcohol. Oh, he's not. And I don't. That one's a weird one for me.
I could agree there, and I don't know if it's like hot drinks. You're not supposed to have hot drinks. That's part of the word of wisdom.
Like hot chocolate?
It's just hot beverages,
Yeah, that one's it's like on the fence.
right? But also caffeine.
Soda.
I was gonna
Caffeinated
say
drinks. You shouldn't have it. It's part of the word of wisdom, but it kind of gets pushed to the wayside because, like, hot chocolate's a thing, soda, diet cokes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, it's weird that it's picky and choosy. I can agree with you there, that because you drink beer or you have some drinks, you're considered not a bad person, I would say, but just not as religious or
Yeah.
in faith.
It sounds like they're just trying to control the general population of like everyone that believes.
So this is what I would. So I'm gonna go a little bit more personal. So the reason I stopped drinking is I went and met with my bishop. I was just feeling prompted to do some things. We have this thing called the patriarchal blessing, which we can touch later, which is actually super dope. But I was reading mine and I felt just like, dude, you need to get in and go talk to your bishop and just meet up. And again, I think I felt like I was a good human. I was doing a lot of good things, donating, giving to people.
Serving.
But serving.
Yeah.
I thought I was a good religious dude, but I was drinking and vaping and stuff like that. But so when I went and talked to him, I told him, hey, look, my relationship with God is like great. Like I will pray every day. Tell him
Yeah.
tell him that I love him and I know that he loves me and I see his hand in my life every day. Like and I've never felt like he's turned away from me, even all the stupid stuff I've done. I've always known that he's there. I was like, but like I have all these good feelings with me and the Lord, but then I come to church and I'm not supposed to drink, and I feel like weird about that.
Yeah.
And he told me what he said was, so that's a good point. So your worth to God is so what determines worth on an object? Do you guys know?
Scarcity.
Just what? So what determines the worth of an object is what someone is willing to pay for it. So if I have a pen and you're like, oh, I'll pay $10 in that, then it's worth $10.
It's worth $10.
So the Lord, we believe, sacrificed his life for all of us. So our worth to the Lord is a
his
lot.
life.
Is his life.
Okay. That
So-
makes sense.
And that doesn't change whether you do stupid stuff, whether you drink alcohol, even if you kill somebody or do that. He still loves you. But he said on the return side of that, what are you doing for your Lord to prove that he is worth it for you?
That his life was worth
That
it.
makes so much
So-
sense.
Quitting drinking isn't because I think drinking's bad. It's because, look, the Lord, I know I'm worth a lot to my Lord. He's worth it for me to not drink. It's not because I don't believe in drinking.
Right.
I still like, we'll go hang. I went hung out with the bar last night with some people. I just didn't drink personally. It was fun. It doesn't affect me. But for me personally, when I get the urge to like drink or I don't know, like pornography or something like that, instead of giving in, I'm just like, how much is the Lord worth to me? And that's where I reflect.
So
That's
is that
huge,
like a
man.
is that like a personal thing for everybody? Because like for you, how you shared yours, like would it be different for like somebody else? Like
Everyone has their own sins.
they would give
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Because I think, so yeah, I struggle with alcohol because I love it. Like it's
Right.
fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the people I do it with. But the neighbor down the street maybe struggles with like lustful thoughts of his neighbor or something. Like looking at the neighbor, his buddy, and like, man, I wish I had your wife and I wish I had your stuff. That's frowned upon as well. So everyone has their own sins. Everyone has their things that they do, and that's one thing I struggle with a lot of. And that I don't like generalizing, but there is people in every religion, but in LDS that they like shun people who do something that's more open, like drinking or smoking, but then behind closed doors they're like looking at pornography
Yeah.
or being lustful, and I do not agree with that.
That's huge, man. I really
That is big.
appreciated that
That is
perspective
big.
because I do struggle with some of the same things. More in a contradictory sense, as far as like, I mean, we're Polynesian. Tattoos are ingrained in our culture,
Yep.
but that's frowned upon. Well, so it was not allowed in the LDS church, and then they recently just had a general conference, and it's now left up to each individual person. Still not really approved. It's kind of frowned upon, but they've given some kind of they're a little bit more lenient on it.
What? Like, what changed?
So
Is it-
I don't know exactly. So the reason it got changed is because the prophet felt prompted,
Oh,
which
okay.
we believe that the prophet has like special access to the Lord, like he can like conversate with him, and maybe not like, I don't know. I've heard some people say like, oh yeah, the prophet can see him face to face sometimes. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that they have special privileges with the Lord, so they get promptings that we follow, which take that as you will. But he felt prompted that he needed to change it, and so that's why it changed. Not because
It's
there was
trendy.
an overload of tattoos coming in.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of the people. It was because the prophet felt prompted to change it.
Okay.
Yeah, because going back to the whole tattoo thing, like I would see post of this dude full body tattoo, and he's holding the Book of Mormon,
Right.
and the caption says, "Why should the ink on my skin defy my love for thy Lord?" And everybody in the comments was just going crazy, and I had no idea. And then
Crazy
that's-
good or crazy positive?
It was just like
negative or positive?
it was kind of like bashing back and forth.
Okay.
And then I hear like this whole thing like your body is a temple.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And so I never knew what that meant until the whole tattoo thing came out. And then I didn't want to ask like one person and just hearing their side and just be, okay, yeah, I agree with you now. Like I kind of wanted to just hear from everybody. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, we believe the body is a temple, mainly because we believe God built you
In His image.
in His image, and He wanted you to look this certain way, and He created you with the utmost like confidence that you're a good looking person or that you have certain qualities that others don't or whatever. So that's where that comes in. He doesn't want you to change your body a whole lot. Doesn't like a whole lot of tattoos. Doesn't like a whole lot of piercings, stuff like that. He wants you
Actually,
to,
one per ear.
and only for women. Men aren't supposed to
Oh,
have ears.
really?
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
that's another thing. It obviously doesn't make you a bad person. It's just one of those things where like, how much is he worth to you? Is he worth you going and get that tattoo because you want to look cool, or not?
Yeah, I think that ties into a lot of things, but I mean, tattoos, dude, I don't think so. Like, I understand the sacrifice and the offer that was made. It was his life. That's huge. But also, I'm a Polynesian. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to represent and be included with my culture and my people,
Right.
I don't see that as being disobedient or defying the sacrifice that was made. I feel like it's me, who I am, and what I want to be. You know what I mean? I mean, there's like someone tattoos. They rank. You can get rankings if you're a high chief. It tells stories.
Right.
It tells
I was gonna
our
bring that
journeys. Like this is our people's stories that we can get put on our body to represent what our ancestors have gone through. And I think that is also something to consider. It's something that's huge for us. But I mean, and I say that because I have tattoos. I have a couple on my arm, a couple on my thigh, and you put it in perspective, saying like, do I love the Lord and love Jesus Christ more than putting ink on my body? Yes, I do. But those are one of those things that pop into my head to where like, that's not, to me, this isn't showing that I don't love you. What's me proving is by serving others, by teaching others about the word, and by going and attending and stuff like that.
Well, I 100% agree with you. And I'm getting a tattoo next week. Like, I'm getting inked up on my arm and my leg. So it's like,
I didn't know that.
All that next
yeah,
week?
that's why I'm gone next week.
Tribal?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's funny
Wow.
because I'm literally saying all this and then I'm getting a tattoo. Because I agree with you. Where I'm at is as long as like, and this isn't doctrine, like this isn't the LDS church saying this is my opinion. If it has meaning and like there's a reason for it and you look at it every day and you're like, I know why I got that, then there's no problem with it. Like how you said, tell stories, high chiefs, stuff like that. There's no problem. But I've seen some guys that just get like dumb things. Like I saw one guy who just gets like, I'm not gonna say his name. We played with him I played football with him in college, but he just had like dumb tattoos everywhere.
Oh, I got dumb tattoos.
See, and I don't know if I would never do that. Just because, again, I think my body's a temple, so I'd only put pieces on it that I think are.
That means
I
something
guess
to you?
to each their own, because like it'd be dumb to you, but to them, who knows?
Exactly.
It might mean something.
Right. I mean, I could tell you meanings for them, but in a sense of, does it meet the same expectation or requirement that I have when I want to put tribal on my body? No, it doesn't. It doesn't tie into my culture. It doesn't tie into anything like that. It's just something that I wanted to get. It meant something at the time, and it meant something for a piece of my life or whatever I'm referencing. But they're random. Like if you looked at it, you'd be like, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" Well, it means something. But
Right.
in the same breath, man, and this is where I shouldn't say a lot. There's a few things, but in the same breath, your body's a temple. Tattoos are frowned upon. Piercings for men are frowned upon. Multiple piercings for women it's not really okay. But then, like, if you're built in God's perfect image and His idea of you, like mommy makeovers, Brazilian butt lifts, lip injections, tummy tucks. Like I'm already in God's image.
Yeah.
But those are accepted. That's fine.
Those are accepted?
That's not weird. Like there is so
I thought you were gonna say they weren't.
no, but that's the contradictory part of what I mean about some things that I'm like, okay, why is this okay and then this isn't? If I'm built in God's image, I shouldn't need to get a tummy tuck. I shouldn't need to get lip injections or
Botox.
Botox. Yeah, like that should not be
Oh
okay.
my
That
But
is
it
crazy.
is. So that's where my standpoint is like, if there are members who are doing that and it's being overlooked, which it really shouldn't be, I have my decisions to make, which is I got a couple tattoos. I probably will get more, but that's what I'm going to have to deal on my judgment day. And then that's something that I'll be judged for. And I know that, but that's a little bit of what is, and you can speak on that if you have any
The only-
insight.
The only thing I would say, because I don't know, I do know obviously you can still go into the temples and stuff if you have tattoos. Like they are frowned upon, but if you have them, it's not like the
A
end
deal
of the
breaker.
world. Yeah. Tattoos have been around for a long time. Lip injections, Botox and stuff hasn't. And so I don't know if they had that tattoos rule and then they just never considered talking about Botox and stuff like that. I just don't know.
You got to imagine though, like I know that this is a visible like art on my arm that you can see. I know that's against what the church is not suggesting, but what they're recommending
Right.
and what is in line with our standards. So if I'm getting wrinkles on my face and I want to freeze that with an injection, which is modifying my face,
Yep.
or inject my lips or tummy tuck or whatever, you got to imagine that's you. That's like us going to the temple right now and taking out a window and putting in a new window that doesn't fit in theme with what was already there, created in uniform with other temples. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, 100%.
So I don't like the fact that, well, it wasn't around, so maybe it's just overlooked. That's not cool because
Yeah.
the rule still stands about your body's a temple.
Yep. So I kind of want to spin it a little bit because I actually, growing up, I've had a lot of moments like that where I'm like, dude, this doesn't make sense. Where A is good, B is not good, but they're pretty similar. And what I was always taught, because I would ask those questions and like bishops or whatever would get stumped, I guess you could say, like they didn't know how to answer it.
And they're not going to know everything
No.
too, yeah.
But in the end, we do believe that you'll get to ask the Lord and you'll be all knowing. So right now we don't know. We don't know
Right.
what happened before. We don't know what's going to happen after. Like our minds are kind of clouded. When we get to the other side, we will know everything. So at that time, we'll know why that doesn't because no, it doesn't make sense logically. But also,
Right.
I don't know if there's something else that
We're missing.
We're missing because
Right.
we're not fully our minds are a little clouded compared to what they could potentially be. Let's take a
Jeez,
cup.
that is-
Let's take a
that
cup
is
of
deep.
this.
That's a good point, and that's huge, but it's also like you can't be mad at what I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
no,
You know?
can't.
And that's why we give people the opportunity who don't know about the LDS church to be baptized and to learn and to move on. So the
Yeah, this
LDS
whole thing is just a learning experience
Yeah.
for me.
The LDS church is not as cut and dry as people may think it is. There's a lot of room, and it's really forgiving. Like there's a lot of room for forgiveness and improvement and ways for people to be better and better themselves. Even if you slip, it's not like you mess up, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's
That's really cool.
That's actually one thing I want to talk about too is the forgiveness and the atonement, because that's another one of those crazy rumors I heard that the only way to repent is to go tell your bishop everything you've done, which is not true. You do not have to go to your bishop for everything.
There's different ways to repent.
Yeah, so you can you literally just repent by just praying to him and saying homie, and that's another thing too. Praying, you can speak to him however you want because it's your relationship with him. So I'll literally in my prayers be like, homie, I'm sorry, dude.
Damn.
I've been screwing up. I talk to him like he's one of you guys. I don't treat him like he is a king and he's my God, but I talk to him as I want him to talk to me, and I want us to have that friend relationship. So yeah, so when you repent, you can repent in a prayer. You can just be like, hey, I went and drank the other day. I want to just say sorry for it and let you know that I'm striving to be a better you and stuff like that. Or just literally just simply like that. There are some sins that they recommend you go talk to a bishop. I don't know what your feelings are. I do not like that.
Talking to a bishop,
No, well, repenting to a bishop.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I
don't
feel
like
like it's
it either.
weird.
Yeah, so Cece and I didn't get married in the temple, but we intend to get sealed. And while we were dating, I guess before we started dating, I was inactive in the church. I didn't go. I smoked, I drank, I did some drugs. It's not anything that's unknown. People that are closest to me know that, and my wife knows that, which is the most important thing. And so after we really got serious and we started talking, and she actually started bringing me back to church, and she would text me and she'd be like, hey, going to church, do you want to go? And I was like, nah, I'm good. And then slowly I started going more and more with her, got back into it. And so we did that. We met with our bishop and we confessed in a sense and just kind of let him know what was going on so that he can tell us what to do, what to improve on, and what we need to work on so that we can eventually get to the temple. And to me, it was weird in a sense. Growing up, I had a really great relationship with my bishop. Loved him. I still talk to him to this day. Not necessarily all the time, but like I'll shoot him a Facebook message. But I didn't know this guy, and that's what I think was the most awkward thing.
Building that relationship.
Well,
with him?
We didn't even build it. It was just I was in this ward. I'm talking to this guy. He's the bishop, and so I had to let him know, almost in an introductory sense, like, "Hey, my name is Gage. This is Cece, my girlfriend. We're trying to go to the temple. This is what I've done." And I thought that was really, really awkward, especially if you're not comfortable with them. But in a sense of including someone else, I think, like you said, it is necessary in certain situations where it's almost like you can't do it all on your own and you need to lean on somebody. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's definitely out of my comfort zone. It's definitely something that's weird. And it was something we struggled with.
So to me, there's two parts to that. One, there's just like everything else. There's a good bishop and there's a bad bishop. I've repented to good bishops and it wasn't that awkward. I've repented to bad bishops and it was like weird and awkward and did not. And I just thought it was too far. So I was repenting in high school. I was trying to go on a mission, and I was repenting about some stuff that I'd done with girls in high school, and the bishop just got way too like, oh, did you insert your penis or did you insert your fingers? And I'm like, that's too far. Like, you just let me tell you.
Yeah,
and
he got
move
to me
on.
repenting, like not you trying
It's
to
not
get
you
the
like,
gossip.
yeah. It was so weird to me. So I do believe that there's good bishops who will hear you out and be like, look, just so you know, the Lord still loves you. I still love you. You're still a great kid. You're doing what you're doing. And then there's bad bishops who want to know way too much and then almost make you feel so bad for it.
Yeah.
Right.
I got done repenting and he's just like, well, I mean, you're going to have to wait a long time now to go on a mission. I'm like,
That's not the
That's
that's,
not
not the
fair.
type of response that you
No.
would want. Yeah.
and I was hella mad. And honestly, I don't want to say this because obviously I've only had a few bishops. So, I mean, he probably knows who he is, but he really is the one who turned me off from the church. Like, after that, I dropped.
I don't blame you that.
Because it was just weird. And so I was like 16 at the time. I just stopped going to church. My mom never forced it on us. It was like encouraged. And then as soon as I had my own license, I'd dip. Like, I'd go to sacrament maybe and then just dip. But
So I'm hearing this word like tossed around. Bishop, is that the highest in the ward?
yes.
Or
So yeah, the way the ranking works is bishop oversees the ward, which for those of you who don't know, a ward is like a community that gathers in one church building. So we have our prophet at the top. He has like a group of 70 underneath him, or his apostles, and then this group of 70. And then I think it's just stake underneath that, right? I think it's stakes and then wards. The way I've been taught is just wards, stakes, 70, and then apostles and prophets.
And but that drills down all the way to the boys. Like, the bishopric has 3 members, and then there's a secretary, and then there's a young men's leader, and then there's the
yeah, that's what I wanted to dive
There's
into.
a lot of it breaks down all the way
Yeah.
down to a 12-year-old deacon serving sacrament.
Yep. It is pretty crazy. And so so like you're saying, deacons, teachers, so there's like groups. When you hit 12, you get the priesthood, which we can talk about the priesthood in a little bit. But so you get the priesthood, and when you have the priesthood and you're in that quorum, there's a presidency as well, with the president, first counselor, second counselor.
And so that's all the bishopric right there, right?
The
Or what-
bishopric is just them. So the bishopric is the bishop, first, second counselor, and the secretary. And then there's leadership in some of the other stuff. So there's leadership in the primary, which is for the kids, leadership in the deacons quorum, teachers quorum, Young Women's has same stuff. And Elders Quorum. So Elders Quorum is like the men's class. So when you turn 18 and you get bumped to Elders Quorum, you go to a different thing, and there's another leadership for that too.
You said that's a men's class?
Yeah, like the men's class. So women don't go with the men's to Elders Quorum. There's other classes, gospel doctrine and stuff like that you go together. But another thing too, kind of going back to the bishops thing that I do, like I just have weird feelings about is young women repenting to the bishop. I get weird, like, I mean, we've just all seen it. Like, we've seen guys who, I don't know, it's sad to say, but like sexually assault people. And I would never hope that a bishop does this, but I know a bishop's a human, just like us.
Yeah.
So when a 14-year-old girl is repenting to like this man, that's tough for me.
Right.
Like, I'd be okay to sit in on my own daughters, but I mean, it's all up to your daughter if she feels comfortable doing that. It's weird to me to
I
have
can
girls
agree.
repent to
Yeah.
a man. Even older women. Like, if my wife went to repent to him, it's not as weird, but it's still kind of weird to think my wife is just in there in a room alone with another man going
Talking
through
about
some
all the
hard
stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah. Did you said that you met with your bishop and talked to him, tried to serve a mission. Did you end up serving?
I did not. No.
No.
I do too much stupid stuff.
I didn't serve a mission either. That's okay though, because they say those who don't serve a mission serve their whole life. So
Hey,
We still
strap
serve.
it
We're all
in.
serving
Hey,
our whole life.
buckle up. we gonna serve, man.
No, I always wanted to, and actually I would love to. So they do couples missions too. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
I
knew
heard
that.
about
So
that. Yeah.
I would love to do a couples mission with my wife.
Do you
'Cause
need to
there's
serve a
fun
mission
ones.
to serve a couple's mission? Or
I
can
don't
you-
think so.
I don't know.
I would assume not, but I don't know. Like, because couples missions are funner because you have a partner like your wife that you get to go out.
Right.
My grandparents went on one to Heber Valley Girl Scout camp and literally just were camping, helping the girls do some of their activities and stuff, teaching, cooking, stuff like that. Like, it's not the door-to-door type mission. There's other missions for couples because they're usually elderly people.
I was gonna say, is there like an age limit?
I don't think there's a requirement. I don't know.
Because I do see elderly people serving a mission together.
I'm sure there's a limit. Like they don't want you to hurt yourselves trying to be independent. And, You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't know, but I'm sure it's like suggested. Like, okay, don't do it if you're over 75,
Yeah.
80 or something.
I know you have to be self-sustaining too. So, because when you leave, your bills are still rolling and you're not going to be working.
There might even. Oh, go ahead.
And they don't pay you to be out there either.
Right. There might even be a health requirement
right.
that you need to meet. So maybe there's not an age limit so long as you're
Health and
in a good-
physical requirement.
Yeah, you're healthy and you're able to do things. Because I've heard of people having to lose weight to go on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And-
heard that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you think about it, you're door to door, you're knocking, you're up in the mornings, you're moving. If you're a little over, or not a little because there's a weight limit, but if you're over that weight limit, obviously you might have some struggles and that can impede on your work that you need to do out there for the Lord. So I can see why that's not a problem as far as like being weird, but
Yeah, one of my boys was like that. He was overweight. I don't know who it was, but they told him that he'd had to, cut some weight just to serve his mission. Every day, my man was in the gym playing basketball on the bike. Like he was dedicated,
That's what's up.
and
Well, it's a lot
he
of
ended
work.
up serving.
it is.
Some of they wake up at 6 and go to sleep at 10 and they do that 7 days a
Yep.
week. Like, they don't get days off. They have one day called the P day.
P-Day.
Usually, I think it's Monday typically. But
That's like the rest day, right?
I've heard random days.
It's kind of a rest day, but it's the day you do laundry, the day you clean.
Oh.
You can go do activities if you have time or grocery shopping. So it's not like you just sit around.
Right.
Yeah.
You just do. It's kind of like your chores day. You get caught up for the week.
Okay.
So I know, like, talking to my sister's boyfriend, he said he would iron all 10 shirts or all 7 shirts on one day, and like just get ready for the whole week. Because when you're in the week, you don't really have off time.
I know.
What was your guys' thoughts, since you weren't members, about a mission? Like, what? Because it sounds kind of crazy, low key.
Oh yeah,
It does.
If you don't know what it is.
I had a lot of questions like, why do they have to do this? Why do they have to do that? Like one off the top of my head is, why do they have to be clean shaved?
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I honestly don't
Like,
know.
To me, I mean, it's almost like even recently beards are a little bit more modern and like trendy, but like if you went to a job interview, typically back in the day, you shave your face.
Right.
You want to look clean cut. That's just kind of how I imagine why a missionary would.
Okay.
It's almost professional and inviting and friendly.
Yeah. Because another thing too is you can have a beard and still look clean cut.
Yeah,
You just have
you
to
could.
work
Yeah. Oh,
harder.
yeah.
And so rather than setting the limit of, okay, you can have a beard, but it has to be clean cut, it's easy to just shave. Just shave.
Well, and they're like 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have
It was like
Very
stubble patches.
few
Or
guys
whatever.
Right.
have a solid beard at that age.
right, so it's like just shave that mess.
Did you have anything, Ryan?
I didn't think it was. Your question was
Was
what's
there
our
anything weird
thoughts?
about it to you? Like when you heard, oh yeah, I'm 18, I'm going to go serve for 2 years.
No, I don't know. I think it's because I grew up here.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
'Cause
But then thinking about it
it is
later
kinda
on,
weird.
it is weird. You're going out and trying to pretty much recruit people into your religion.
Which that to me wasn't super weird because even if there's a pastor of a Baptist church, he's still going to try to get people to come because he believes it's true and he believes it's right.
Right.
My thing with it was the time frame. 2 years to me, 2 years just sounded like
A lot
so
of
long,
time.
especially right at 18.
Yeah.
Which I have buddies who went on missions and that were obviously the same age and they're still doing great. But it seems like that's just a versatile age right at the beginning of like your adulthood life
Right.
that you're giving up, which you learn a lot of skills on a mission. But I remember being like, that is crazy.
It's 2 years of your time here to go serve.
Yeah.
Big
2
dedication.
years is a long time.
Well, especially like athletes, for example, they do all this work so they get scholarships. Sometimes you lose your scholarship if you go on a mission, and some kids they'll still
yeah.
do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But even when you come back and you play college, let's say football, for example, and then you try to go to the NFL, if you go on your mission and then play 5 years in college and then enter the draft, you're like an older rookie.
Right.
At that point, you're, 25 years old, where most rookies are coming in at like 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
You're just older. I remember I had a quarterback coach when I was playing in high school that he did that. So he served the mission. And back when the age change actually happened, so it used to be 19 when you went on a mission. Now it's 18 for men. So he went out on mission at 19, got back when he was 21, played at Hawaii, got injured or something, but ended up playing like 6 or something years. So when he went to the NFL, he was a 27-year-old rookie.
Holy
And it was just like, he's like, yeah, it's just kind of weird. Like, I
That
was a
is
27-year-old
crazy.
rookie.
But he still went to the NFL.
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy.
I mean, he did. He'll say this too. He like laughs. He's like, it's just different. He's like, I overthrew one pass in the preseason, gave cut the next day.
Dang.
Yeah, he's actually hella cool. He was a strict coach, but very knowledgeable coach. Just to even be a quarterback in the NFL, you have to be some sort of
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
So he was a cool dude.
I've heard countless times back in the days where like if you like people didn't want to come out because some of them were strong in the church and they felt like they would be kind of like disowned, banned or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the right terminology is, but they would think that they would be disowned from the church, disowned from like the family and all that stuff. And me personally, me being an outsider, like looking in, I didn't think it was wrong because if everybody shares everybody shares their own
Perspective, views,
perspective,
opinion.
views, their love to the Lord. Why should that change because, say, I'm gay? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like why would that change? Because I'm giving
Yeah, it's the same
the
love.
same thing that you're giving.
Oh, same love.
Right. So it goes back to like what we were talking about with the celestial kingdom. We're taught at a young age that in order to get there, you need to be married to a man to a woman, and you need to reproduce and you need to have kids. Gay couples can't do that. That being said, that's where it gets hairy for me, because I have gay relatives, I have gay friends, there are people in my life that are attracted to the same sex, and that
Right.
I don't see any different. And I'm not saying the LDS church does or the people do. But to me, it's like kind of like you're saying with drinking. Like, okay, because I love who I love, I'm not holy, I'm not righteous. I know that it's doctrine and it's in there that you a man to a woman, and that's how it's supposed to be. But that's where my faith wavers is because of those things.
Yeah.
That's one in particular, especially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
The way
crazy.
I see it is, yeah, it's doctrine. Like we believe a man's supposed to marry a woman and all that, and a lot of that is because we believe that men have specific roles and women have specific roles. I think it's very hard to argue that men and women are 100% alike on a lot of things because there's a lot of things men are good at. There's a lot of things women are good at. So that's a lot of the reason why we believe men and women should become partners to have families and do all that because there's things that my wife does better at than I
Right.
do. And if there was two men trying to raise kids or two women trying to raise kids, it's harder. Like no matter every woman, like there are women that can emulate a guy more, but it's very hard and it's very seldom to see that. Most of the time when you get two women to try to raise a kid, it's just not as effective as a man and a woman because there's stuff that I bring to the table that is very hard for a woman to bring to the table.
I don't see that.
I disagree too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think the gender matters. Like it can be two girls, and I don't think them raising a kid would be different than a guy and a girl.
So especially with women to guys, the big thing I see is women don't. I don't know how to word this correctly, but my kids listen to me way more than my wife. And I'm pretty sure you guys all felt that same way. Like when dad says something, it's almost like more assertive. I'm not saying a woman can't get that. It's harder for women, especially because women do better on the emotional side. So women tend to care for the feelings and
needs.
nurturings and stuff like that. Whereas a man can do the other side of it, and then the woman can help counteract it a little bit.
I'm sure when it comes to like two females or two guys, their roles will like fit where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there'll be one that's gonna be the one that's like
More
the kids
emotional,
are scared,
more
and then-
assertive.
yeah,
More, yeah.
yeah. I don't necessarily think it's the like I'm a guy, so they will definitely be scared of me, and you're a girl, so like you take care of the like whatever.
Emotional side. That's a
Yeah.
great point because I also think that based off of who your parents are and their sexual preference doesn't mean that you can turn out to be a certain way, which is also being a good kid is opinion based. I don't have a kid, but I can have a kid and you can be like, Shelly, your kid is freaking acting up, and I was like, that's cool here. Or I can think something about your kids and you're like, this is the way that I'm raising them. This is how I judge them on being a good kid.
So have you ever read the Proclamation to the World that the LDS Church released? It's an older document, but it talks about the roles of a woman and a man. Now, I'm not saying women can't do the man's roles and man can't do the women's roles because in my own personal life, part of the proclamation is the father is like to be the provider of the family. Whereas right now in my personal life, I stepped aside from my job to pursue some other entrepreneurial things. So right now my wife is actually being the provider. That doesn't go against what the church says though. There are some roles that are designed for men and women to do. That doesn't mean you don't do the other roles. It doesn't mean you don't help with the other roles. We just believe that there are roles for the man and the wife and you can work together to do that. So
Yeah.
Okay.
and I don't know. The whole gay thing is weird to me too because I'm actually on the same wavelength as you guys. If you love them, just do it. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna obviously teach my son, hey, marry a woman, or teach my daughter, hey, marry a guy. But if they don't, I'm not gonna shun them. I'm not gonna hate them. I'm not gonna say, oh, the Lord doesn't love you. 'Cause that kind of goes back to the Lord gave His life for you. So no matter what you do, He's still gonna love you. The church's stance on that, I really don't fully know it. I know that when it first kind of started becoming a thing, I remember, and this could be completely fake. I just remember hearing if there was two gay parents, whether lesbian or gay, if they had a kid because they adopted him or whatever, and they wanted him to get baptized, he couldn't get baptized. And that could be completely made up. That's just what I remember when I was like 16 or so, because that's when it kind of started coming out.
Wow.
Like 2016 is when things started kind of getting up there, I guess.
Wow.
So the kid can't get baptized because his parents.
And don't quote this. This is
Oh,
not
yeah.
factual.
Right.
I was gonna say, but that's also kind of contradictory. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. I don't know if it's true, because one of the articles of faith,
There's 13 of them.
Okay, so this is paraphrasing, but we shouldn't be judged off of Adam's transgressions, is kind of playing a part in that situation.
That's actually very knowledgeable of you, dude. Dang, I didn't know. Dang, you should be the next bishop, dude.
Nah, but
You just pull it from the hip. I like that.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying though. So
Yeah.
like, because Adam has done something, we shouldn't be judged based off of what he's done.
Yeah.
A kid shouldn't be judged based off what their parents have done. So I don't know how true, and I'm not calling you out on it. It's just I don't know. So I don't know how true that is, or if maybe there was a spin in the media or something.
No,
I
yeah.
agree.
Because
Yeah.
when I heard that, I was actually like upset too. Because the same thing. If your parents are doing something, for example, my dad used to drink and stuff. It's like, oh, sorry, you can't get baptized because your dad drinks, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not okay.
Yeah, kids should not be determined based off of their parents.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I got one last question before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Gava, word of wisdom. What are your thoughts?
That's weird because
Right.
it's like one of those things like soda. Because I do know one of the things you're supposed to avoid in the word of wisdom is anything that alters your body. So alters your mind, alters the way you focus or anything like that. And kava kind of does that. Not
Right,
to
yeah,
an
'cause
extreme,
It relaxes the body,
Yeah.
and you can, you feel it.
not to an extreme element like alcohol.
Being drunk?
Mm-hmm.
No.
And so I remember,
Alcohol drunk.
I don't know. I remember my mom saying growing up, like, "Oh, the church said it's only good if you're first generation," and to me that didn't really make
What does that
sense.
That's weird.
And so I really don't fully know. I really think it's cool.
Yeah.
My bishops have never said anything about it. I've mixed with bishops. I've
Yeah.
mixed with second counselors. Like
We talked about it in our Kava episode. There's the Polynesian branches, the Samoan branch, the Tongan ward that's about to start up, right? You said that
Yeah,
it'll become
tomorrow.
a ward
Tomorrow.
that the bishopric will mix, and that they have tribal tattoos and Polynesian tattoos and stuff. I was just wondering, but again, playing that devil's advocate, body altering,
yeah.
so I couldn't take ibuprofen,
Yeah.
No, yeah.
right? Or I couldn't relieve pain, or sleep aid, like what's that called?
Melatonin.
Yeah, anything like that. Prescription drugs.
Yeah.
No.
It's like a gray line,
Yeah.
and you just don't know where to put the line.
So I mean, personally, I don't think it crosses it, but
I don't either.
I don't either.
But I also do it a lot, so I don't know.
and it's a cultural thing,
Exactly.
and it's a cultural thing. So
So yeah.
All right.
I mean, let's take another cup. The only
let's do
One
it.
more cup.
kind of the last thing that I wanted to bring up too is I know that there's a lot of bad connotation sometimes with the LDS Church and other churches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's kind of back to what I was saying about like how much is the Lord worth to you. That's just my perception of it because this is my church and I have good feelings about my church. I go to my church and I actually feel good. Like I believe in the teachings and stuff.
That's good.
That does not mean though that I should be like, oh, these Catholics, they don't know what they're doing. Like they're just they because in my mind, as long as you are going to your church and you feel good, like you feel the Lord's love, you feel that this is a true church, then go. And as long as you do what you think is good enough for the Lord, then just do it. I don't like how people put like, oh, the Church of Jesus Christ is the only true church. I don't like that. Because that's kind of what we believe is that we're the only true church. However, I do believe even churches like Buddhism and stuff where they worship Buddha, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but what I do know is that they worship, in their sense, they think that's God. Like Buddha's like a god. And as long as they're doing what they believe is best and they feel confident and they feel the blessings that come with their religion, I don't think there's anything wrong with being in another religion. I struggle really bad when people are like, oh, well, you're Catholic, you're not going to the celestial kingdom. Like, I don't really, to me, your relationship with God is way more important than the church that you go to. So that's
really cool.
That's kind of the last thing I wanted to add, because I struggle with that too when people are like, oh, he's Catholic, he's going to hell. Like, I don't like that shit at all.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I respect that.
But well, thank you guys for joining us today. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We were able to get a little deep and dig a little bit into what we believed in. So we hope that we can see you next time.
Yeah,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it, guys.
Yes,
Let us know if you want us to do this again.
Goodbye.
I thought that was a good ass
That
one.
was dope.
Golly,